Happy Tuesday from hot and sunny Arizona. I'm in my car again. I work in my car often. I'm always in between meetings and client meetings in school, so I end up doing client calls in my car and doing these tips from my car. So I wanted to talk today about anxiety. I have had quite a few clients, especially older high school clients lately, with the need for anxiety accommodations and anxiety help in the IEP or 504 plan. It is something that is not often covered. We hear a lot, especially from me, more about ADHD, some dyslexia, things like that. But anxiety can be accommodated in a 504 plan or an IEP, and there can be skill sets that are addressed in an IEP that could also help anxiety. So let me talk about some basic accommodations that I think would help with all age students. Extra time. So for exams, children who are struggling with anxiety often already are hard on themselves, so to have that looming timed exam is not helpful for them. So removing time from exams, possibly having a quiet testing area depending on your student and their age. If it's too distracting, especially ADHD often coexists with anxiety, so a quiet testing area can be very, very helpful. A cool down pass. I've seen this used from my kindergarten clients up to seniors in high school, just so if anxiety is ramping up, they know that they can leave the situation and what specific thing they can do. So it needs to be more than just a cool down pass, more than just, if you have a cool down pass, you can leave. It needs to be a cool down pass with a specific task assigned. So the student knows, so I'm going to go meet with my trusted adult, whether it be the nurse or the school counselor, or I'm going to go get a drink of water. Water helps lower that stress, helps us recenter. So it could be anything that works best for your student, but it needs to be a specific task listed in the accommodation. A printed schedule is nice. I know I like to know what's going on in my day, and students with anxiety definitely would benefit from having it in their binder, having it printed on their desk. When they're younger, it's usually on the board, but as they get older, to give them a copy is very, very helpful. And then to prompt them before they're called upon. I speak for a living, and I still like to prepare before I'm going to do so. So I can't imagine what it would be like for a child or a student who has anxiety to just be called upon. So to give them a prompt, whether it be like a little social cue from the teacher, or if the anxiety is in a place where they are not ready to speak in class, that is okay. You can add that as accommodation to not be called upon. In that vein, when you are doing presentations, sometimes we will accommodate to have it be private, to have it, I've seen this from second grade on to higher ed, to college, where the presentation is done by recording or in person just with the teacher. There's a lot of different ways we can think outside of the box to help this, so the child doesn't have unnecessary anxiety standing in front of their peers doing an oral report. Preferential seating, especially during assemblies, if it helps. Some kids are best in the back, some kids are best in the front. It can be preferential and to your students' liking. A buddy system, especially in the younger years, just help with those transitions, that rush, all the people. These schools are so big nowadays, they have so many classes, so someone to help them transition as they get older. I work a lot at high schools that have thousands of kids, literally 3,000 kids or more, and to rush from one area of the campus to the other adds a lot of stress and anxiety. So transition help cushions built in, 5 minutes extra without penalty. We don't want to penalize a child for something that's a manifestation of their disability. So if they need a little bit extra time, if they need to maybe use the restroom when it's not crowded, or if they need help with transitions, that's an easy accommodation. And then the big one, if your student has, especially as they get older, if they have anxiety to the point where you're worried about their safety, themselves or others, I think having a safety plan as part of the IEP is very important, and it needs to have specific steps listed out so the student would know what to do. It could be stemming from like the cool down, leave the classroom, go to this person, drink 1 bottle of water, call, check in, decide, if you are going to A, call mom and dad, B, go to the nurse and go home. There needs to be specific steps listed, and schools are great if you bring it to their attention about helping with the safety plan. So I think we all do better if we know exactly what to expect during a stressful situation. So I hope that that helped. If you have any questions, definitely comment below on any other type of anxiety related accommodation questions you have. And I hope that your students are having a good school year with as little stress and anxiety as possible. Thank you. Take care.